what I mean to you. Baby, let me know what I mean to you. Baby, let me know what I mean to you. Baby, let me know what I mean to you. Oh, I need to know what I mean to you. Baby, let me know what I mean to you.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
Thank you.
That is really, really good. So this album is almost sounding like a return back to kind of, your personal songwriting.
Yeah,
You're not thinking about having to write stuff for other people, for example.
Right. I think when we made the last New Old Fashioned record, Small Town Midwest USA, I had kind of, most of my songwriting up to that point had been pretty personal for the most part. And, I was going through a time in my life when I was writing a lot of those songs where I just couldn't really be honest about what was going on in my life, and that sort of forced me to start writing from other people's perspectives. And a lot of those songs were written during 2016, where there was a lot going on in the world, and
Sure.
and so it was just a good. I think it was just a good time for me to focus my songwriting elsewhere. And then, so after that record had come out, and I think I started being able to open up a little more about what was going on with me, and so the songwriting got a little more personal again. So trying to, I like working in both avenues, and I think that time in my life made me a little better at working from other people's perspectives, and this album was kind of a return to form a little bit.
Well, that kind of, I think, speaks to your strength as a songwriter. Now, anyone listening to this show knows I'm a huge fan of your songs.
Thank you.
And I think everybody should be. So if you don't have David Payne's first solo record, you can go out and get that through almost all of the services.
That's right.
And of course, the New Old Fashioned are available everywhere. And that record was phenomenal as well. But I think your ability to move back and forth from different perspectives really shines not only on your solo work, which does seem to be more introspective, but there are multiple perspectives on the Small Town Midwest USA record, right? You've got some of the generational differences, like with Kid 2000 and Boomer, and even the title track itself.
Excellent. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Well, I remember listening to it when it first came out, and Mrs. Dr. J and I were talking about it, and I'm like, there seems to be multiple, if not just generational perspectives, but people from different walks of life.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that was very intentional. It was like, I felt like I was trying to, see the world through someone else's eyes for a second. And, it's all still written from my personal bias to some degree, which wasn't intentional, but I think you're going to have that. But, I tried to give multiple perspectives on what was going on in the world and what I was seeing go on in the world. And we just started, we have a couple of songs that didn't make that record, that we recorded for that record, including that one, Drinking a Prayer, you heard earlier that Paige sang on. That was one we had recorded for Small Town, and it just didn't quite didn't quite fit in with the record. But so we just started recording a few more songs with Patrick at Real Love, for an EP called Big City that's going to be coming out next year on Magnaphone. So that song's going to be on it, and a couple more of those like perspective sort of songs that kind of didn't make it to Small Town.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR Dayton, a rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. And that's what we're all about, is terrific independent and local music. I just want to personally thank you, David. You're playing our big show this weekend. I'm calling it the big show. It makes me feel like Ed Sullivan or somebody. I'm not quite sure what's going on with me there. But everyone we reached out to said yes. I know I reached out to you, and you had said something to me about, well, we're doing it even if I have to drag the guys with me.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer. But the lineup is killer. A bunch of our friends are playing, and I'm glad you're getting Andy Smith out of the house to come play a show.
He needs to.
Yeah.
People need to see the mayor of Toontown.
Yeah, I ran into him at the grocery store the other day. It was a rare sighting, but I'm excited to see him play.
You and me both, my friend. So thank you so much for agreeing to play that show.
Yeah.
Can we give the people a taste of what they might hear from the New Old Fashioned?
Yeah. This is a song off of Small Town Midwest USA. It's called Closer and Closer. It's kind of a country song. Those pearly whites give off fire low. They could get you if you didn't know better, like I do now. Oh, you come on with quite a charm. No one to expect you to do it harm. With every smile that you fade, well, another heart breaks and brings you closer and closer to dying. You let your hair down, you got work to do. You're breaking hearts like it's a job, and your boss man is promoting you. Whoa, today, but why'd you have to climb the ladder this way? Smile that you fade, well, another heart breaks and brings you closer and closer to dying. Take your places, it's curtain time now. Oh, and it comes up on your club, true love, and it's wooing that ever-growing crowd. But the show is over, honey, just take it bow. No one to expect you to doing harm. With every smile that you fake, well, another heart breaks and brings you closer, closer to dying. It brings you closer, closer to dying. It brings you closer and closer to dying.
Mr. David Payne here for your Tuesday afternoon alternative. The New Old Fashioned are headlining Saturday night. They are a fantastic band. That's got so many great lines in it. You come on with quite a charm. I totally adore that line.
Thanks.
I love that line.
I wrote that song. I watched this Levon Helm documentary, and there was this part of this documentary where he was working on putting some music to some unfinished Hank Williams lyrics that somebody had found laying around, and it was a project that like Jack White was producing, and it just, I don't know. After watching that scene, it just inspired me to go write a country song, I guess.
You did all right. You did all right. So David is one member of the New Old Fashioned that is playing our 15-year anniversary show. Wow, 15 years went fast. The gray hair shows on me, my friends. You've got the mayor of Toontown, Mr. Andy Smith, me time. You've got Amber Hargett. If you've not seen Amber Hargett, she is simply phenomenal. Charlie Jackson and the Heartland Railway, another great songwriter.
Charlie's one of my best friends.
Neo-American Pioneers, great arrangements. Ghost Town Silence, one of the bands who very kindly reached out to us when we started this program. Age Nowhere, the 1984 draft, once billed as the loudest band in Dayton. Come see and find out. Cricket Bows, Typical Johnsons. Our headliner on Friday night is the Boxcar Suite. If you've not seen them, then you're in for quite a treat. David, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and chat with us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Come see us this weekend at Big YTAA Fest, and I'll be at the Yellow Cab on December 14th with Amber Hargett and Charlie Jackson, Billy Swain, Sharon Lane, and Harold Hensley for a good songwriter night to celebrate the release of the new record.
Thanks, David. This is Mr. Andy Smith of Me Time. It's a short song, so just kind of go along with it. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR Dayton, a rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. And we're clear?
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, thanks so much, man.
Sorry, I'm mindful of not...
No, you're fine.
And I know when people play, I kind of move around, so I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
We used to sit in here gabbing with you for hours.
Yeah, this feels weird. It feels like too short. And I'm sorry, she waved at me, so like I went back. Does anybody need anything they don't have? Are they doing okay? I mean, there is a cafe over there. I can run and get something if anybody needs anything. Are we good? Is everybody good? Oh, I don't know about that. Oh God. In that case, like, where's like the platters I should have out? And exactly. With the cheese wheel. Excuse me.
You ate the entire wheel of cheese?
I do think at least people who are watching, I didn't sing along, although I was really close. In my head, as David is doing that, I'm like, I want to take a high harmony part. We'll be right back with Amber Hargett. You're coming in, aren't you, Lucy?
Are you gonna come in? Okay. Are you ready for me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Spot number 1.
Cool. So Lucy, do you want to come in?